Islam family, Islam. What's good? What's good? It's brother Cool. Chilling here on a late night. No, I didn't give no notice in advance, and it don't matter. I'm up. I'm just doing this. Alright? It's being recorded, so it's gonna be dropped after it's done anyway. Alright, hey, we got one. Peace. Islam family, first viewer. You up like me, so you a night owl, right? Good. Get some work in. Make this a little bit smaller. Islam, you can hear me clear? Am I clear? Audio wise? Do I need to speak louder? Yeah, exactly. Especially when we're not on that trash food diet. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I realized when I first went on my well after my ex had broken up with me a few years back. I was like, you know what? Since I'm already feeling down, doesn't hurt to go on a damn fast. So first thing I did was I went on a 30-day fast. Just fruits and water. Fruits, vegetables, and water. And in like the first week I lost like 23 pounds. And then major thing I realized was that I needed less hours of sleep. Still felt as energized. Would sleep like 2-3 hours, wake up feeling like I slept 8 hours. Um my skin, like I didn't have to put as much oil. Like I would wake up and my skin would like be naturally, like it would naturally be oily, wouldn't be dry. And just have more energy. So yeah, now I understand how um how people who are wealthy or successful, they have more hours in the day because they sleep less. The less hours you sleep, the more hours you have in the day. So if they say you have 24 hours for a regular person who works 8 hours, spend the next eight recuperating, right? In between his travel time, in between his time with family, in between his time for yourself to prepare the mind for the next day. So don't really have much time for yourself when you're on that type of schedule. But when you're working for yourself and you're supporting yourself and living off your own energy, then yeah, you have time now. So now it's just about where you put your time. And if you, like I said, you're treating your body right, you'll realize you don't need that many hours of sleep. So that means you got more time. Because right now, when everybody's sleeping, we up. This is perfect time because it's clear. The energy is clear because most of the other energies are asleep. They're down, ready to get up for the next day of work. No offense to them, but you get your best work done at nighttime because things are silent. All right. So the title of this well, obviously I can see the title of this. I can't remember it verbatim right now. But essentially, we're dealing with trusteeship and chain of command, trusteeship. So, in order to have a chain of command, we got to understand how the chain of command works, first of all. All right. All things we understand, there is some people call it and other people just have a big ass question mark. Okay? First chain of command. That's a horrible looking chain. Jeez. Okay, there goes your chain. Right? First chain. Now you got the second chain. What's the second chain? Second chain is oh, another word for this. this is. Right? So first chain, we got God, Allah, Creator, energy. Second chain, we got man, woman, child. Okay? This is how the order of the trust works. So we have man, woman, and child. So we have energy, which is the grantor. Okay? You have us, who are, you see that? Cool. Okay? You have us, who are the beneficiary. Then you have the third chain of command. Now, the third chain of command, which is the trustee, is a hat that you wear. Not that you are a trustee, it's a hat you wear. Right? Because we're talking about a family here. Who's a trustee? If we're talking about simple forming a family, who's the trustee? Trustee is the mother and father. And whomever mom and dad authorize to do a task. Okay? Now, if mom and dad were to appoint a trustee, then this falls into brackets. So now what you have is so when you do it in brackets, what you have now is a parent trustee, and then you have the succeeding trustees underneath, which would be considered the children, right? In a trust. So, first tier, you have God, you have the creator, you have energy, grantor. Second tier, you have man, woman, and child. According to the human race is comprised of men, women, and children. That's it. That's what the human race is comprised of. Men, women, and children. Anything outside of that, you're stepping away from the human race. Human race, man, woman, child. That's it. Okay? All three parties come from a woman. Okay? With the creation, with the aid in the creative process of the man, because it takes two to tango. Okay? It takes A and B to make C. All right. So, that being said, yes, it should be a religious religious corporation, as well as an indigenous estate. Definitely should be that, because we got to understand religion. When we're talking about religion according to law, we're talking about deed of trust. Now, when we're talking about religion according to regular life, religion is what we do consistently on a consistent basis. See me? I like to study a lot. So I religiously study. I'm religiously in information. Some people like to look at stars every night. They got telescopes. That's their religion. They like to look at stars. They're a religious star gazer, or you know what I'm saying? So that's our religion. Our religion is our way of life. And for us as Moors, our way of life, that one thing that we want to do consistently on an everyday basis is live according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Islam, which means peace. So our way of life is peace. We want to be consistently in a state of peace. That's what our religious creed is. Our religious creed is that our way of life is going to be, we're going to conduct ourselves in such a way where we're going to be in a constant state of peace to the best of our ability. Now, life ain't perfect and things come up, but the goal is to be in a state of peace as much as possible, even when it gets tough. Still want to remain at peace. That's what Islam is. That's our religious creed. Okay? We're not about war, we're about peace. Islam. Right? So, now that we got the 3 tiers of the trust, okay? This is a family. Now, if y'all want to understand government, all you got to do is understand family. And what does a family consist of? Woman, man, and child, just like the human race. So that means that the human race, the foundation of the human race is woman, man, and child. Okay? We're getting to the source. So that means that governments are based on the concept of woman, man, and child coexisting together in a space called a home. That's what you call a family. You guys are together. You're tied by blood. Okay? So government is based on family. Business is based on family. Trust is based on family. International law is based on family. Nationality is based on family. Okay? Understanding that, let's look at it from a business aspect. I'll erase this now. I'll need to erase the tears. Okay. The grantor, according to a business, is known as the Chief Executive Officer, aka CEO, also known as the owner, aka the grantor. Okay? We're talking about business now. Now we're talking about business. For example, I am the owner of something everyone can relate to. I'm the owner of McDonald's. Like, guess what? McDonald's under new management. We just went vegan. Everything is vegan. Okay? So, in Moorish Donald's, right? I'm the CEO. I'm the grantor. Okay? Now, who's the beneficiaries? Beneficiaries are I guess you could say the family of the CEO. The family of the CEO are beneficiaries. The employees are beneficiaries, but there is one little kicker. Who's a trustee? The trustee is also the employee. Now, I'm a Libra, so I'm all about balancing of the scales. So I need you to see employees here in the benefit area and an employee here in the trustee area. This scale or this one is heavier than this one when it comes to being under the CEO. Okay? You're more of a trustee than a beneficiary. However, how you benefit is you're under the impression you get to work, you get a check at the end of the week, and you get to bring that home to your family to do what you need to do. That's your benefit, right? As well as the so-called whatever, social security, pensions, things you believe which are benefits, which are really not benefits because those things are not guaranteed to be there by the time you're done working. Okay? So, employee, you guys do more of the work. You receive orders, you get it done. That's your job. Get the order, get it done. You benefit very little because you have to physically give your energy, your labor. Okay? The CEO is like the mastermind. So he's giving more of his mind than his physical labor. He's delegating, right, to the employees what needs to get done. And when that job gets done, the business is successful and the beneficiaries get the benefit. If the business is not successful, nobody benefits. So the trustee's duty is to make as much money as possible for the beneficiaries, for the estate. So when you're an employee for a business that you don't own, your job as the trustee is to make as much money for your company or for your boss, for your grantor as possible. Right? What do you think they're hiring you for? To make them money, to make them notes, to make them so-called profit. Okay? You have a job, you can do the job. If you do the job, it brings in money for the business. Cool. You're an asset. This is how it works. You see how it's still family? Mother, father, child. I should say mother, child, father. Right? Father's the protector, the laborer, the trustee, employees. You're the trustee. Okay? And then, on this note, the grantor is also known as a creditor. The employee is a secured party. There's no such thing as secured party creditor. It's either secured party or creditor. Either you're a secured party or you're a creditor. Either you are a secured party or you are a creditor. Okay? Who's the creditor? Creditor is the grantor. Who's a secured party? The trustee is a secured party. You know what's also another secured party? Beneficiary is also a secured party. They're not the same. They're different. All right? So the creditor is the creditor and the secured party is the secured party. You're the creditor, you're the secured party. But that depends on how your trust is established. Because for me, I've read so much on trust law, I know that according to the Treasury regulations on trust, a trustee can be an individual or an institution, meaning it can be a real life flesh and blood being, or it can be an actual entity. It can be a straw. Like McDonald's can be a trustee, or the bank, right? The corporate banks act as trustees. Okay? So a trustee can be a company. Knowing that a trustee can be a company, when I established my trust, I made myself the grantor, and I made myself and my future children and my spouse the beneficiary. Guess who the trustee is? So the name of my trust, I have a couple of trusts, but I'll give you the name of my trust. The name of my trust is Noble Coel. Okay? Noble Coel is the trustee. Ta-da! Who's the grantor and beneficiary? grantor. So me, physical, man in flesh, in propria persona sui juris, in propria persona, in one's proper person, sui juris, one's own right, sui heritis, one's inheritance, sui heritis, one's inheritance, solo proprio, on one's own land. Okay? So in propria persona, sui juris, sui heritis, solo proprio. That's how I combine that together. Okay? I, Kumare Suel, in propria persona, in my proper person, of my own right, claiming my inheritance on my own land. That's what I said fully in Latin. I am Kumare Suel, and so in propria persona sui juris, sui heritis, solo proprio. Bang. See what I'm saying? So, me, flesh and blood being, Kumare Suel, the national, the more, right? I am the grantor and beneficiary. Why? I'm the mastermind that came up with the idea for Noble Coel. Before I came up with it, Noble Coel was not in existence. So I am the principal. I have the intellectual property rights to Noble Coel. That's mine. That is trademarked and copyrighted. Now, I'm the grantor and the beneficiary. The entity itself is my trustee. Now, being that my trustee is a straw, right? What I do, let me show y'all. And I'm not telling y'all this is what you're supposed to do. I'm just sharing with you what I do. That way you can take from what I'm saying in my experiences and add to your puzzle, because you're putting your pieces together, right? The same way I'm putting mine together. So, you have me. I'm going to draw me. I'm not that great of an artist. All right. That's me. That's my fears. You know what I'm talking about? All right. So this is Ku. Ku says hi. Hi, y'all. Hi. All right. Ku is a man. Man meaning M-A-N, Moorish, American, national. Ku is a man. Okay? Ku is a man. Ku is a man slash grantor. Also a beneficiary of a trust. Who's his trustee? Who does he? What person? What person? What person? What person does Ku have an agreement with? Right? Because Ku could have an agreement with a person or an individual. To be clear, I'm going to add the side word so you understand very clearly what's being said. Individual meaning a private person, also human being. Okay? Person, they're talking about corporation, association, partnership, etc., etc. LLC, whatever. This is a person. Partnership, association, corporation, LLC, sole proprietorship. These are all entities. These are all persons. So, what it's saying is that your trustee can be either a human being or it can be an entity, a corporation, association, partnership. That's what a trust is, right? So what I've done is I created the trust. The name of my trust is Noble Coel. Who's the trustee of Noble Coel? Noble Coel is the trustee. Noble Coel is the entity itself. Who's the grantor beneficiary? Cool mare su el and propria persona. Now, when it comes to property and things like that, when they're looking at the owner's list, do you think they see cool mare su el? No. You know what they see? Well, let me be very exact. This is what they see, right? So you can see the difference. Right? Because it is a straw. So you got the trademark and copyright logo because it's an entity. Noble Cool. That's my trustee. So that's my interface to interface with other corporations. And this entity is the way it was created, right? Because this is my 98 slash foreign entity, okay? And I've created domestic ones underneath because that's what you do when you build a tribe. Once you have one foreign entity in place, you can start building your umbrella and start creating businesses for your other like-minded members, right? Moving forward. So, Noble Cool L, okay, is my 98. It's foreign, outside the jurisdiction of the U.S. Doesn't mean Cool L is outside or is foreign to America. Cool L is foreign to United States. Cool L is indigenous to America. Cool L is foreign to the United States. Therefore, Cool L uses a trust that is outside the United States to conduct business because of the fact that Cool L is foreign. Cool L is an alien. Okay, so Cool L needs an entity in order to interface with these corporate entities, because Cool L, as a man, human being, can't interface with entities unless Cool L is a fool. All right, Cool L ain't no fool. So Cool L doesn't own anything. Noble Cool L owns it. Cool L, right? Cool Mare Su L has the benefit of the use of those things that Noble Cool L owns. Cool L or Noble Cool L is the legal owner. Cool Mare Su L is the equitable owner. And that's trust law. So I've just made my trustee a person, and so the person, Noble Cool L, can't make moves by itself. So I have to direct Noble Cool L. I have to instruct Noble Cool L on what to do. So I'm literally moving in the name of Noble Cool L commercially. Property, all that. Utilizing credit and stuff like that, Noble Cool L. Okay? This is how you function with your trust. So I'm not doing anything as Cool Mare Su L. I do everything as Noble Cool L, or like I said, I have a few other trusts that I utilize for different purposes. So the main thing or the bottom line is I'm not doing anything as Cool Mare Su L. Okay? Because Cool Mare Su L is a human being. Cool Mare Su L can't interface with corporations. Okay? Doesn't work. Doesn't work. What's up? Peace, brother Fahim. What's going on? Can't sleep either? Good. Night owls. Oh, and also too, Number Cool was created for W8 Ben purposes only. You know what that means? W8 Ben purposes means Noble Cool L is created strictly for treaty purposes. What treaty? The Treaty of Peace and Friendship, 1786, between the United States of America and Morocco. So this is how Cool Mare Su El functions in the commercial world under my treaty. Okay? I'm not using the social. Islam. You know what I'm saying? I'm not using the social. I've been using social for over 4 years now. I'll say 5 years. It's been so long, man, it's like once you step over that threshold, you can't go back. You're like, damn, my government is dope. Sheesh, my government fire, man. I don't do nothing with that. So this is how business works. Okay? Now we're going to go through how government works. Now, you have what we call government. Okay? Government means to govern the mind. So it's a system. A government is a system that governs the mind of an individual. So no different than if you have a constitution. If everyone in your organization reads your constitution, abides by your constitution, then that's the instrument or the system that's governing their minds when they're out and about in the world, how they conduct themselves. That's what a constitution does. It's like an etiquette book. How are you supposed to act? How are you supposed to treat others? If this happens, what are you supposed to do? What rights do you have? What happens if you get violated with this? That's all a constitution is. It's how to act. It's how to act right. All right. So if you got your own how to act right in your organization, everybody abides by that, by your act right, then that's your government. That's what's governing your mind. Okay. So government also has 3 parts, right? You have your legislative, you have your and the legislative is the grantor. You know why? The legislature is the body of men that write the laws. So the legislature of the United States is what's writing the so-called policies, codes, statutes, as far as the state, those current state statutes, RCWs, etc., shit like that. That's the executive branch doing that. I mean, the legislative branch, the writers, also known as the writers. We call them L. Okay? L is a writer. Legislative branch, legislative grantor. Who is the trustee? Who's the trustee, huh? Executive branch. You know why? Because the executive branch executes or they enforce. Just like obey. You get where I'm going with this, y'all? Okay. Legislative, L. Executive, trustee, the Bay. Then you have your judicial branch. Your judicial branch, right, interprets what the legislative or the L's write. They interpret it. Once they interpret it, they confirm it, then it gets executed by the bays or the trustees, right? Of the executive branch. So, another name for judicial branch would be Ali. Because they're interpreting. So it's kind of like if I write something and I'm like, yo, can you look at this? for me and just check it out and make sure everything is right. That's what they're doing. They write it, the legislative branch writes it, the judicial branch examines it. It's like, yo, I wrote these laws and policies. All right, judicial branch, have a look at it. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you need some corrections, if the interpretation is off. Should I make some adjustments? Is it good as is? Let me know, judicial branch. And then once you sign off on that judicial branch, let the executive branch know. Let the trustees know so they can enforce it, so they can execute it. Now, the beneficiary thing is two-role, right? I didn't talk about people. I talked about offices. Because government is dealing with offices. Offices. That's where you get officers and officials from. Officials and officers. Those who hold office in government. A system set up to govern the mind. Okay? It's not that government is wrong. What government are you a part of? That's what's wrong. The people running the government. Okay? So with government, you have officers. Because you have offices, therefore you're dealing with officials. Okay? So the beneficiaries, right? The people who so-called benefit. Now it depends on what you mean by benefit, depending on what certain laws or ordinances or codes they're passing, it might not be for your benefit. So, but like I said, depending on whether it's an actual benefit or an actual not benefit, the people who consent. So the people who consent, to the jurisdiction of the particular government, whatever government that may be. That's why I didn't call this government United States. It can be any government. And in the government, they may even call these roles something different. But they still do the same thing. It's like if I'm a AV technician, so it's like looking at a soundboard. There may be mad channels with mad knobs and mad switches, but it's not confusing to me because I know every knob or every switch on one channel does the same thing on the other channel. It's just copy and paste. So once I learn one channel, once I learn all the knobs and things on one channel, I've learned all the channels. Except, before I start going into the master channels and the aux and the sends and all that. But other than that, that's what it is. It looks like a lot, but it's really just one. All right. So whatever government you're a part of, this is how it operates. Always going to have an L, always going to have a Bay, always going to have an Ali to oversee and make sure everything is right to the best of their ability. Because everyone looks up to them. They hold their opinion in high regard, especially for the judicial branch, because their interpretation of the law, their understanding of it, that means they hold their opinion in high regard. Checks and balances, okay? Checks and balances. So, people who consent to the jurisdiction, aka U.S. citizens, aka 14th Amendment citizens, aka Black or African American, aka immigrants, aka Indians, all U.S. citizens. So they all fall under jurisdiction of the United States and how they have these particular systems set up. Okay? And the fucked up part is in this particular government, in this particular system, right? The people of their system, you know what they are? They are actually, it's gonna be fucked up, man, but it's real because remember, it's about business. The people of this particular system called the United States, they are collateral. Not that you're the ones that are authorizing us to do these things on your behalf. No, you are our money. That's what the people in these offices in the United States claim the citizens as property. You're my money. You're mine. You don't have a say. You do what I tell you. Trustee, right? I give you an order, you execute it. That's how that works. So they've had us in the role of trustee when we're on our own land. We're not the trustees. We're aliens authorized to work in the United States. So because of the fact we're aliens, we're not part or have any allegiance to the United States in any way, shape, or form. We just have an agreement called a treaty to coexist. And due to that treaty, it entitles us to be able to go into the US and work, okay, as a national and not have to deal with the taxes and not have to deal with being encumbered by foreigners. And we still have our own identification. We're documented non-immigrant aliens. We have allegiance to our mother country, which is Morocco, according to our treaty. So it's all good. It's like really that simple. That simple. Okay? So as long as we stay consistent with that, that's all we need. And then on the last note, one last thing. I didn't want to make this live too long. I just want to end on this note real quick. Now, I haven't really seen a lot of Moors put like a how-to template on this particular thing, so I figured I'd just do it myself. How to write letters. I know this might sound silly as hell because, you know, when he was in 10th grade, not 10th grade, when he was like in, you know, we learned about how to write letters and how to address the envelope and all that, how to write if you're writing a business, dear sir, semicolon, colon, shit like that. Yeah, we got to train all that completely off. As far as the titling of the mail, due to the fact that we're not citizens, we're aliens, we're in a completely different bracket of how we do shit. So just imagine that this blackboard, right? Because we know what black means according to etymology, pale and shiny. So we're going to allow this blackboard to be an envelope. Okay? I'm sending to somebody. So this is how I address envelopes. Cool. Care of. The reason why you put care of and care of is important is because care of is stating that you receive mail at this location, but you don't live at this location, right? Because we don't live in the United States. So we receive mail in care of at certain locations or offices in the United States, but we are not putting ourselves physically in the United States. Okay? So care of. One, two, three, four L Avenue. Now, it's really important that you comprehend the power of knowing your county. Okay? So your county, I don't know how it works in other states, but I realize, you know, upon learning how to create EINs and such, that the county, the name of the county is just that name. Like when you put, for instance, the county, right? The republic portion is the county. The county is part of the republic. Okay? So the county has a name. And the name that we normally call it, when we say, for me, for example, if I say King County is in the jurisdiction of the state of Washington. If I just say King, I'm talking about Washington State Republic. You see, because King is the name of the county. The county is named King, not King County. Understand? So whatever county you're in, the name of that county, take off the county. When you just take off the county, now you're talking about de jure. You're going to see. So prior, right, before I knew better, I would put King County, and you make sure you write out everything, no abbreviations. No abbreviations. Unless the person you're writing to is actually within one of the corporate offices of the United States. At that point, they are in the jurisdiction, write their address as is. But if you're writing to yourself or you're writing to another more, this is how you should be properly addressing it. So like I said, King County is the corporate jurisdiction in the state of Washington. To come back to the Republic, remove the county. The name of the county is King. So I am domiciled in King, Washington. Ain't that funny? I'm in King, Washington, y'all. Or I'm near King, Washington. King, Washington. You put the zip, right? Make sure it's always in brackets. Now, the rule of brackets when it comes to writing, anything that is in brackets or in parentheses in a document, the rule is that that phrase or word that's in those brackets is as if they're not on the paper. Even though you can physically see them with your eyes, they're not on the paper. Okay? So even though they can physically see the zip code with their eyes, by putting the zip code in brackets, it's not on the paper. By it not being on the paper, I'm not submitting myself to the jurisdiction. The corporate jurisdiction, according to the Buck Act. Read the Buck Act, y'all. Zip codes. That's how they get you in federal jurisdiction. All right? And normally for me personally, I keep it simple. So when I do the brackets thing, I add the brackets around the entire, after I put care of, brackets. Okay? And then the most important part, I repeat, the most important part, right? The most important part, you want to make sure you put non-domestic, non-assumptive. If you don't know what assumptive means, pull it up in Black's Law. You'll be amazed. But essentially, what I'm saying when I'm addressing my mail is that I'm cool L. If you need to write back to me, I can receive mail at care of 1234 L Avenue, King, Washington 98252, non-domestic, non-assumptive. Okay? Address or mailing location in brackets. I got the bracket at the beginning here and the bracket at the end. And then whoever I send to, whatever their corporate address is, whatever. If I'm sending it to another more, I address it same thing. If the more has title, more, whatever the mailing location, care of for the more. Peace, whatever the title is, care of for the more. Brackets, everything, non-domestic, non-assumptive. You know what I'm saying? And then understand it too, when you put your stamps on the envelope, what you want to do is, I don't know, is anyone familiar with the phrase postmaster? Floor is open. Anyone familiar with the phrase postmaster? While y'all answer that, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay. Okay, good. Don't call me yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. I ain't no sir. There ain't no ma'ams. I know, proper. I was taught that too growing up in private school. But that sir, ma'am stuff for me is kind of like, one, to make me feel old, and two, I know it's a form of respect, but I also feel like it was a way of indoctrinating us to stay in that boy and girl mentality. Like, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. You know, so that's why I always like be like, nah, just call me cool, man. Just call me cool. But yeah, for the stamp, right? And you know, at the post office, you can get you can get 2-cent stamps, right? Right. So when you have your stamp as a postmaster, what you want to do is, you want to put your signature. So for me, right, I sign off at a 45-degree angle on the stamp. I put the date. What's the date today? Hey, somebody tell me what's the date today. I think today might be the 10th, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, no, today's the 10th, right? So we're gonna put 4/10/2018, right? Yeah, I was right. Thank you, more. 4/10/2018. Then you take your thumbprint. Take a little ink pad, red ink pad, and you stamp it, right, on where you sign. Now you've officially become the postmaster for this document. Okay? So that's how you do that. This is how you sign. This is how you address letters when we're writing to each other. All right, we got to make sure as aliens we're operating properly. Okay, and I want y'all to get used to calling ourselves aliens. We are aliens, not that we're alien to, not that we're alien to our own landmass. We're home. We're not alien here. We're alien to the company that has gone rogue, that is doing business on our landmass, who has completely disobeyed the orders of the Pope, who is the CEO of the United States of America. And so the Masons, like I said in the previous video, the Masons and all the Moors who done sold us out, they're operating for the United States. And that's why if we're contracting with the United States, then we're trading with the enemy and therefore fall under Trading with the Enemies Act.